ladies.
Good
Thank you.
morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited to have the opportunity to speak to you both. Marie-Laurence and Phil, both from Ardene, one of my absolute favorite places to shop when I get a chance to visit you guys. So why don't you introduce yourselves? Phil, why don't we start with you?
Sure. So I'm the head of People and Culture and Chief Mindfulness Officer at Ardene. I've been here for over 6 years. I've been working and leading HR for multiple industries, embarked on the retail journey about 15 plus years ago. Ardene has been a wonderful journey for me. We are a great and evolving beautifully organization, great culture, and expanding internationally. So I'm very, very proud to be part of the team here.
Amazing. I remember when you first started. It
Yes.
didn't seem like it's been 6 years. Time flies, right?
It does. It does.
Definitely.
And it's been truly an incredible journey, Jodi. We get to really explore our passions here, and we get the stage in which to do that. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And ML?
Yes, so my name is Marie-Laurence. I go by ML here. I'm a senior HR advisor, learning and change management. So I work on mostly learning and development initiatives, but also corporate-wide programs like health, wellness, engagement, our mindfulness program. I've been with the company for about 5 years, and I want to say I'll be here for a long time still. I think we have a lot of growth potential, a lot of exciting stuff ahead of us. Yes, it's a great place to be.
I couldn't agree more. From Multimedia Plus's perspective and my perspective, Ardene has been a client since 2011. So we too have definitely seen the evolution of a fantastic company, not only from a retail perspective, but also from a human perspective. And I have always so appreciated the connections that we've had with your team. And it's so nice to see the evolution that is happening at Ardene. And it's also very exciting. So why don't you tell, especially like our US audience that is not as familiar with Ardene, although I know you're opening, in our backyard over here.
Ardene is a fashion apparel head to toe retailer. We are over 300 stores in Canada. Great culture, family business, built an amazing, amazing brand over the years. The brand is substantiated by the culture because that DNA of the family business is really transcending all stores across Canada. So anybody who thinks of Ardene, I could say warms up their heart because our leadership team in stores, they've been around for a long time. It's just been a beautiful success story. Everyone is very proud to be part of this success story. So you can imagine when we expanded to the US, what a great thing that was for us. We're in over 7 states in the US, mostly Northeast Coast. And we're hoping to build that same culture. And we call this in French, sens de l'appartenance, so sense of belonging. Mm-hmm. This is what we have in our business. And we're trying to build that in our US stores too. Great. The product offering is amazing. We're a value retailer. So our product offering appeals to many, many target audiences. And we've expanded that reach to menswear. We've expanded to plus sizes, and we have lots of exciting new offerings in the future. So without giving away our trade secrets, we're going to leave it there. But definitely, it's really important for the US customer to connect with us in the way the Canadian customer has connected with us. So we're trying very, very hard to make that happen.
Definitely. And I think that, even, ML, when we think about like the partnerships that you formed, the celebrity partnerships and the collections, that is something that has, really continued to be very exciting. And I think, you guys do that so well. Has that been a big success? What was your favorite kind of celeb partnership?
Well, that's definitely a big part of how we operate because our customers are Gen Zs now, like really like the typical Gen Z. And so we're on all the social media, we're in for all the collabs and the TikToks and the influencers. So partnerships are definitely super important for us. How can I not mention our partnership with Kendall and Kylie from a few years ago? I think that was 3 years ago now, and that was huge, right? That's major for us, and that really helped us as we were preparing to enter the US market too, kind of gave us that notoriety and made us seem relevant, let's say, to our customers. So another thing too that I want to mention is the evolution of our company. We started out, we've been around for soon 40 years in Canada. We started out as an accessories and jewelry retailer, but now we have, like Phil mentioned, we have shoes and boots and clothes and outerwear. So
right.
It's been really, really exciting.
Yeah. For those who haven't been to an Ardene, I would highly recommend it, not only for a really fun shopping experience, but also for an operations experience, because the stores are so well run. They are always meticulous. I know you place a lot of emphasis on visuals and how that really is super important to the customer, but also just to the brand. I mean, when you walk in an Ardene store, there's a certain well-oiled machine that's going on there. And I'm so always enamored of that, especially, you know, being a retailer, you know, to my core. So I really love that. You mentioned that you cater to or tend to have customers that are Gen Z. Let's talk about your actual associate and manager population. So who's running these well-oiled machines?
What strikes me the most, Jodi, in terms of, you know, who's at the core of our customer population. And they are an amazing bunch of passionate, young potential leaders, young sales associates. Yes, they fall in the categories of millennials and Gen Zs. But most importantly, what I've realized is their quest for growth in this space is like exponential. And so for me, when I look at our population, they're like sponges. They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to evolve with the company. They really express a genuine interest. And we're trying to make, you know, retail a career for them through our programs and through our offerings and through our things that we do to inspire them, whether it's the area of training or culture shaping, programs, etc. How we attract them, how we retain them is very important to us. So for me, when I look at the target audience in our business, all I see is a bunch of amazing students who want to learn and grow, and us having a responsibility to help them do that. Now I'm going to pass it on to Amel because I think she's going to have a little different spin on this answer. So Amel, over to you.
Yeah, I'll say for the associate population, our employees are our customers truly, and a lot of them, it will be their first job, right? So we need to provide a lot of training. Some of them come in with a good work ethic, and we kind of need to give them the good operational best practices, you know, to be able to run these stores. And at the manager level, these are people who have had to adjust to running smaller stores to now these big multi-department stores, right? And kind of what you were mentioning before, they need to multitask, they need to prioritize all the time. They're hands-on. They are literally managing 100 different things at once. This incoming, the outgoing units. And so, yeah, just trying to scale that level of skill as our operations grow, really.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned, they are larger stores. They're not, you know, they're not boutique size. They definitely have that multiple offering, different visuals that are happening throughout the store, lots of merchandise coming in and lots of merchandise going out, you know, with customers, which is great.
Actually, Jodi, if I may, that's a really key point, because from the 6 years I've been here, we've really expanded our reach in terms of footprint in real estate. And so we went from managing in small stores to managing in much larger square footage of stores.
Yeah.
And that's changed the game for our teams.
Absolutely.
In terms of goals, in terms of structure, in terms of responsibilities. So that's a really key point that you brought up there.
Yeah. And just
Exactly.
yeah. And in terms
with larger square footage comes larger teams too, right? And that's a big difference when you're managing 5 employees versus now 15, 20, and even more in some cases.
definitely. So let's talk a little bit about how you utilize the Insight platform, because I think that you know this, I don't have to tell you, through our client success meetings, you guys are always like the top retailer in terms of participation, in terms of the way you publish programs, and I know you both have a lot of input in terms of how you're training your teams, communicating with them, and you do an excellent job of all of that. Even through the whole pandemic, you guys were the first ones out there with an opening toolkit. So tell us a little bit about the different types of ways you utilize your app.
So basically, we do all of our training on Insight. It's become a really important vehicle for us to stay connected with our people and to train them. And it's become the one-stop for all departments in the business. We also use it to communicate policy launches on a regular basis and updates on policies. We run special surveys through the platform, special program launches that we've done, including my very most passionate one on mindfulness. And so for us, it's been a real huge game changer. And Jodi, through our connection and our constant, interactions, you've always made sure that we looked for those opportunities and that we were leveraging the tool as much as possible. So, and especially with the pandemic, it's been really, really key, as you mentioned, right? This is the way we stay connected with our people in terms of how we launched the just-in-time information so that we can run our business. And we used Insight for that as a major platform.
Yeah.
Mel, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to what I'm saying or expand on what I'm saying.
Sure. I mean, I could talk about the Insight platform for hours, but really it's an incredible tool in terms of capabilities and flexibility, right? So we have already off the bat a language functionality that is critical for us having stores in Quebec. And now as we expand to different locations, and the Insight platform allows us to curate for each of these different locations. So that was key during the pandemic with the different state, provincial regulations, being able to send relevant content to those populations, to those employees directly. And also in terms of the variety of the types of content that we can put out there. And that's thanks to you and your team, Jodi, for, like Phil said, enabling us to go beyond just the usual PDF or PowerPoint trainings. How can we make it more interesting? How can we try different things? And over the years now, we've developed our own templates. We've gotten some templates from you. And now that allows us to really quickly put something together for Insight instead of just putting something on there because we have a document that's already ready. We can create purposeful content like that very easily.
Yeah. And I love that you said purposeful content because, I go into your app and just kind of, check it out and see what's happening. And like I do with all my clients, but I happen to really love yours because it is fun and very well designed. And I noticed the wellness part of your curriculum. And Phil, you said very importantly that it's very close to your heart. And I just, maybe you could just talk a minute about, I think it's so important. And I honestly don't see a lot of other retailers doing that. So maybe just give us a little tiny snippet of what wellness means at Ardene.
Oh my, I have to pass this one to ML because she is the heartbeat of wellness at Ardene. So I am not going to steal her thunder. ML?
Sure. Although I have to say, this is a Phil's passion as well. So I'd love for you to add a few words after. But Ardene has always been a company that cares about its people. And I think from the beginning, our culture is one that supports wellness in general. We have great work-life balance here. We have different perks that our employees can enjoy. And we realized in the last few years that those were more focused on physical wellness, let's say. And while our culture, like I said, supports wellness, how can we be more directly support mental health, for example, which is just one of the most important topics that came out of this whole pandemic, right? And so a few years ago with Phil, we started our mindfulness program actually here. And that was before even we were talking about COVID and anything like that. Mm-hmm. And it's just really grown into something beautiful now in our business. And so we use Insight, for example, to communicate some of that content. We have a mindfulness challenge every October that we communicate through that. So yeah, it's been a great journey.
I think the thing that's interesting when Phil, especially, I'm sure you can recognize this, majority of your population are young women. So, I think that when you talk about the mental health and the physical health, right, the both go hand in hand. But the fact that you have really taken this opportunity to be that leader with your population is so important. And you've got a big population that you are now, being mindful of.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Jodi. This has been I would say, professional/personal passion of mine. 3-4 years ago, before COVID, like I feel like the world has awakened to COVID and the need for all of this, but the need was there all along, and especially in the retail space, And so, like I said at the very beginning, I'm so happy to be in an organization where I've given the stage to follow my passion. And so I feel like we're a little bit of the pioneers in mindfulness and wellness programs at Ardene. And it's making a huge impact on the business, huge impact. And we continue to work on these programs, and we're going to evolve them and grow. We're a nominee at the Retail Council of Canada for an award in excellence on this topic. Just honored to have been nominated because it speaks to the importance of the topic, and the fact that it was recognized as a finalist was already a very big step in the right direction. So I'm very proud, and I owe it also to our leader at the helm, who believes in doing right by the people and supporting our people in more ways than one. And to me, it's all about making a difference in people's lives, whether it's through their professional journey or through their personal journeys. And thank you for raising this awareness and for bringing it to this conversation, because it's very important to us.
How has the feedback been regarding the wellness program, or just in general, through the pandemic, the communication? Like, have you gotten any feedback from managers or leaders or associates within the retail stores?
I think people at the beginning were a bit they didn't really know how to react to this content that we were encouraging them to have these conversations at work, and we're talking about mental health in the workplace. And once we've allowed them to do that, and once we made it clear that that was important for us, people, they're now asking for more, right? And it's kind of been fast tracked now as a priority. People really appreciated the support that we provided during the pandemic while we had store closures. We really kept putting out wellness content for associates to keep that connection, but also to help them as much as we could during these challenging times for everyone. So the response has been positive there, and it's encouraged us to do more.
Let's just talk about for a minute kind of the back end of Insight, which is the data. And we talk about the beautiful content and the communications and the training that's going out. But at the end of the day, we do want to make sure that, you are seeing the results that you need to push the agenda forward. So how often do you look at the data?
Our teams in the field, so our store managers and district managers will look at it on a weekly basis. So they'll look at, first of all, any new hires, right? Because we have very foundational content on there that every new hires need to go through. So they're doing the follow-ups on those people and making sure that associates go through that content as quickly as possible so they can be up and running. And the second part is timely launches and other content like that. So they'll look at it on a weekly basis. And I'd say organization-wide, it's more monthly to see how we're trending. And there are some regions maybe where there was something going on, they didn't have as much time to complete the lessons and things like that.
Has anything that you've seen within your data surprised you?
Our teams are very KPI driven, very objective driven. So when we tell them to reach a certain level of completion, they do it for sure. They're excellent. Even when we do a new campaign or a new policy launches, we give like a 2-week completion deadline. We practically never have an issue with things like that. So really happy to see that people are using the platform and are following up on those things.
Like you said, you're putting out purposeful content. You're not just putting out content for the sake of putting out content. So the fact that you do have such high participation and compliance levels is because it's fun and people like it. It's not just boring PDFs or, listen, some people you have to read once in a while, but you also use a lot of the interactivities and the video. You guys have great videos that you are producing like upstairs, right?
Yeah,
really.
That's right. No, it's true. You say we do make a point of making sure that the content is, first of all, it's very direct and it's easy to absorb, right? We're not putting out trainings that are an hour long. We try to keep it short and sweet, but really for people to take concrete information out of whatever we put out. We try to keep them brand aligned, make it fun visually as much as possible. That's where the templates really come in handy. And makes it visually consistent as well across the platform. And people know what to expect when they go in, right? When they see certain visuals or certain types of training. And yeah, we've had a lot of fun creating the videos too. Once we got the hang of it, now it's like we can't stop.
Great.
And I'll just add to that, Jodi, because, being the active observer of that process, I can't tell you just how much they enjoyed this process. And the involvement of others and the pride they felt, when they were able to show Mark and myself the output and the quality of their work. Like they were like little mini Hollywood stars, very excited. There was this platform that they could use. They could do so much with it. So it was an amazing journey, and it really helped build the confidence. The tool really helped build the confidence for the team. So very grateful for that.
Thank you. Well, I can't thank you both enough for your time. And I am a big fan, as you know, not only of the two of you, but also of Ardene. And I feel very honored and privileged to be able to support you guys, as you continue this amazing journey. So thank you. And I appreciate it. I really do.
Thank you, Jodi, for your partnership. We've been on an amazing journey together, and it's always been, how do I say this? Very respectful, very professional, and you've done a great job at being there for us, listening to our needs, and trying to help us find creative solutions so that we can meet those needs. So your partnership is really, really important to us. So a great big thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.